My opinion, people focus more on looks than they really ought to. Are you telling me that if you find a partner who really syncs with your personality, who shares many of your beliefs, who cares about the things you care about, whose personality is just so endearing to you? If you find this partner, are you really going to turn them away because the guy is 5'3"? Or because the girl isn't under 125 pounds? Or because they have a scar, or receding hair, or they don't have your favorite hair color or eye color? Yes, you do need to be physically attracted to your partner, to some degree. But stop looking for absolute smoke shows, because personality matters a hell of a lot more than looks. Dating someone who's not willing to change small things for you. My spouse was horrible, with money prior to me meeting her. Now she's financially stable. I was a bit emotionally blunted when we met. Now I'm a big softie. She needed the emotional connection. I needed the stability and finances to feel comfortable. Amicability, it's important. Trying to play it cool early on and not showing the right amount of enthusiasm. I always lose interest in guys if they do this. Be direct and enthusiastic. Everyone else is jumping in with the great addition of not being 100 yourself from the beginning. So I'll add that regularly making self-depreciating jokes is often a way that people unintentionally cause negative views of them to form for the people they are interested in. I have a good friend who is absolutely wonderful and always gets so disheartened when they don't get more than 2 minutes 3 dates with a person before the other person says they don't feel the connection, regardless of perceived chemistry. Their go-to humor is rather cruel self-deprecation, and that's challenging for a lot of folks in their life to handle, romantic or platonic. For the straights among us, not having a healed view of the opposite sex. If you are so embittered against the other side, you will never find love. You will either turn your partner into a token or turn every mistake they make against them. I've seen so many men and women struggle with dating because they are just so resentful of the opposite sex, it's mind-boggling. Being standoffish from the start. The whole idea of dating is to potentially find a mate, but be cool with it maybe not working out and at least some fun if nothing else. If you show up to a date with an attitude, honestly, there is just no need for that. If you didn't want to be there, own that and just go, but there is no reason to be rude or mean. Most people nervously show up to dates with a bit of an open heart. You can still be kind even if it's ultimately a no. I have been on both sides of this conversation and am confident that kindness is key. If you're using a data app, always use the Google app to run an image search on a person. Especially before going on any dates, giving any kind of information, anything like that. My poor aunt, whose husband passed away a couple years ago and got into the data app game. Somehow she sent some person on Hinge there, and after talking to them for a few days. I did an image search and found the photos being used as an actor. This type of thing happens all the time, especially with people who are older and getting used to apps and the internet in general. Be honest about who you are. It's one thing to try and impress someone new, but people pretend to be something they're not is just wasting everyone's time. In a new relationship, try as much face-to-face conversations and minimize messaging. I know it's hard to do, but you lose a lot of what you're trying to communicate in messages. Showing up with too many expectations. I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm only looking for a serious relationship. I'm hoping to find a spouse. I only want a sexual partner. I'm looking for and so that does this, looks like this or thinks X way. While it's fine to want all of those things, you are much better off just going in with an open mind and seeing where it takes you. You never know what type of relationship you're going to have with a person until you try. Let it happen and don't force it. Also, be prepared to realize you don't want what you thought you did. Counter to popular, modern beliefs. Dating is what you do when you are already in love. It's why you date. If you do it in a different order, that's the wrong order and you should stop that. Meet, learn, know, love, date, marry. That order, no other. Moving too fast. Sex before the third date, moving in together within months, marriage and or baby within a year. Absolute recipe for being trapped in an abusive or simply unhappy relationship with someone you didn't know all that well, missed the red flags on, because you didn't slow down and get to know them. It works out for some people, in the same way that playing the lottery works out for some people. Most everyone would benefit by waiting. The sex relationship marriage will still be good after you get to know them, if it was ever good to begin with. Trying to turn first date into some big event, expensive meal or something. Way better to start off with something small, like coffee for 30 minutes. So much easier to realize if you want to invest more of your time. See if there is a vibe and you want to see the other person again. No guy is thrilled about spending huge amounts on a dinner that goes nowhere. And neither is a woman thrilled about having a guy spend money for a meal they are not enjoying. Make sure you like each other first before going on a more expensive date. Thinking that a few dates is a relationship, nah, bail on them while the bailing is good. Getting very, very clingy-dependent right away. I recently had a guy tell me the first night we spoke, when I asked him to be safe, he told me, only for you, and more things along those lines, which makes it a little hard to explain, but they should not say that on the first day night that you talk to them. You should not already feel some sort of responsibility towards them, nor should they force it on you. I am sorry if this does not make any sense. English is not my first language. Don't do it just to do it. Don't feel like you need someone else to make you happy. The worst concept in dating is finding my other half. Work on you until you become a complete, happy whole person. Then you can meet someone who is a perfect complement to you and not a necessity. Two happy people form a great couple. Two desperate people looking for their other half to complete them form an ugly codependency that isn't fair to either. Speaking from experience, overlooking how the person treats others. If they describe how they got back at a former partner or how they made them suffer, and you think it won't happen to you or they wouldn't treat you like that, think again. Don't compromise on what you're looking for the sake of not being lonely. For example, if you want a long-term relationship that may lead to marriage, don't accept someone who is just looking for casual dating. You both are in two completely different mindsets. If you're someone who plans for the future and the other person is a live for today kind of person, you're already incompatible. Put on a different face than the actual you. It is not uncommon for people to do while trying to make new connection with another person. But I feel your authentic self should not take a back seat just to make yourself look good in the other person's eye. I still struggle with it, maybe not in dating but in general while trying to make friends. I tend to behave like an extroverted person and overly friendly, which I actually am not. Trying too hard. The majority of dates with men I've been on have gone sour because the guy tries to brag about being super confident, thinks they're better than everyone else, brags about how much money they make, etc. I truly didn't really care. As long as you have a place to live and can pay your bills, that's great. But be an actual person with feelings and understanding. The world is fake enough. Trying to make a relationship their life identity without having anything outside of it. I believe you gotta be able to enjoy being by yourself. Adding another person should be enriching your life and not making yourself dependent on them for entertainment. Get some hobbies. Find things that's just yours to do. Then add in a person because you want them, not because you need them. Being some overly preened version of yourself. If you do that, you eventually have to justify why you're suddenly a completely different person a few dates later. Just let it hang out. Be your normal, everyday self. It's better to be rejected for who you actually are than to have to fight on the losing side of a war of attrition in maintaining a facade.